This is China. This is the United States. This is China. This is the United States. In 1985, Xi Jinping, then a county-level official, visited the United States for the first time. This month, he will embark on his first state visit to the U.S.
He's still that same lovely man.
Very, very humble.
Smart individual, a nice man, but
the ability to communicate.
President Xi is no stranger to the United States.
Why Iowa? Why are you going to Iowa?
It all began in 1985. Xi Jinping, then a county-level official, visited the United States for the first time to study the country's farm practices.
During my first visit to Muscatine, I stayed with a local family for 2 nights.
This is the house Xi Jinping stayed in while in Muscatine. Every morning, Eleanor Dvorak made breakfast for Xi before he went off on a day of field trips, and they communicated the old-fashioned way.
When I did coffee or tea?
Eleanor said that by the end of the day, he looked exhausted.
So, I offered him some tea or something, and then he had to go to his room and make notes about what they saw to bring that information back to China.
From Muscatine, a lasting friendship began. Xi Jinping visited the United States 3 times in the 1990s and 2000s, and his connections with the American people ran deeper.
In the spring of 1992, when I was working in Fuzhou City in Fujian Province, I came across an article entitled Guling in a newspaper.
The article told the story of an American named Milton Gardner, whose family lived in the town of Guling near Fuzhou from 1901 to 1911. It was here that Gardner spent his childhood. After returning to the U.S., Gardner longed to one day return to Guling. But he never made it back in his lifetime. After reading the article, Xi Jinping arranged for Mrs. Gardner to visit Guling to help fulfill her husband's wish.
There she met 9 of Milton's childhood friends, all in their 90s, and listened to them reminiscing about the past.
And for some Americans, their stories are just as personal. In 2012, Xi Jinping, then Vice President of China, visited Muscatine for a reunion with some old friends.
He was saying on the stairs, he said, I've just been in Washington, D.C., and President Obama said, why Iowa? Why are you going to Iowa? And he had his hand gestured up there, looking at the old friends, and he said, you are why.
In the 3 decades since Xi Jinping's first U.S. visit, China has grown into the world's 2nd largest economy. Meanwhile, Xi Jinping rose from a county-level official to eventually become the leader of 1.3 billion people. And meeting ordinary and not-so-ordinary folks has become a quintessential part of Xi Jinping's visits to the U.S.
He's a very amazing person. When you can see him, you can see the presence that he has, and very professional, very, very humble.
Over 30 years, Xi Jinping's time in the United States has expanded from the cornfields of Iowa to the Annenberg retreats at Sunnylands in California.
President Xi is no stranger to the United States.
After receiving Obama in China last year, Xi Jinping will visit the United States in September.
America is always pleased when a Chinese president visits.
It'd be great if he could come to Los Angeles.
I would love a chance to talk with him.
China-U.S. friendship and cooperation accords with the general trend and popular will. It is a force that cannot be stopped or reversed.